Okay, this video is a critique of the 48 Laws of Power. The 48 Laws of Power. You know, I was introduced to this book several years ago, about 13 years ago, I believe at this point. And it wasn't really great circumstances when I was introduced to the book. As I've mentioned in some previous videos, I've had quite a few challenges, things that I've had to wonder, why did this happen to me and whatnot. But this was during a very low point in my life that I was introduced to this book, and probably because of that, the book, I really grasped onto it. I really felt like, wow, now this is what I've been missing. This information here. I was reared in the church, and so I knew a lot about morality, good or bad, but I had no concept of amorality, of that which is of looking at things from a perspective that doesn't have anything to do with good or bad, but has everything to do with that which will make you the most powerful. And so I really devoured this book. I mean, I've read it probably no less than 6 to 10 times. I don't know, maybe more. I just got all in. I was in my early 20s. Wow, a person that was feeling very powerless, and here's a book, 48 Laws of Power. My goodness. I introduced it to friends and family and anyone that I thought I wanted to protect with this information about power. And and so there's the information. Obviously, if you have read it, you know it. If you haven't, you can obviously Google it or whatnot to see what are those 48 laws. It's been a tremendously successful book. And I know that they've come out with another, some years ago called the 50th Law, and it's authored by a gentleman named Robert Greene. Very successful book, and so this is a critique of it in the sense that I just want to offer a different perspective than what I had and what I was even encouraging years ago, and maybe hoping others to derive from it. And that is that indeed the book does familiarize a person with information that will assist them in achieving external power. I think it's important to understand the difference between external and internal power. I think that internal power is true power, and external power is just a facade. External power that is usually actually pursued by those who, and needed by those, that have some of the most extensive deficits in their soul, in their spirit, in their ego. Their ego is really running their lives, so they'll do anything and treat people any kind of way in order to achieve, sustain, and maintain this perception of power. But those very same people, we remember the Great Depression. We may not remember, but we know about that people jumping from buildings during the Great Depression. These were the people that were jumping from the buildings weren't the poor people, the people that were traditionally considered to be powerless. It was the people who had all the money and all the power, and when they lost that, they didn't know what else to do. They had nothing to sustain them within. They had no other sense of nothing else to validate their existence, so they killed themselves. And so I think that it's important to look at whatever we're doing, what is the trajectory of it? If it's multiplied, if it gets better and better, if we go deeper and deeper in that way, and we're more and more successful in that thing, what would that look like? And I think that there's tremendous evidence and historical example that those who are attached to external power are actually some of our weakest people, truly, because if and often when they lose those things, they have there's no real substance to undergird or up that they can stand upon. And so I think now, many years later, that that particular book is one of the most dangerous books for a person to really latch on to. I think it is good for a person to be familiar with the principles because, as it says in its preface, that one of the ways it can be used is to just guard yourself against it being used on you. And I think that for those of us who are into being vulnerable in spiritual matters and things of this nature, it is important that we have some understanding about the ways so that we're not manipulated, so we're not here to just be used and abused, and there's people out here studying how to use and abuse you on every level. So it is important that we have that knowledge. I think the problem becomes, and that I've seen, is that many of the people that I personally introduced to the book changed. Those people changed from being what I would consider to be good, authentic, salt of the earth, sweet, loving, caring people to being master manipulators. And I regret to this day having exposed certain people to that information. And because and in them changing, it changed our relationship, my relationship with those people. And for a period of time, it changed me, caused me to do things that I would have ordinarily never done, or to, because I'm trying to go after this and live this Machiavellian life, 48 laws of power lifestyle. And I'm just glad that I came out of that and into a higher awareness about what true power is. I don't even think that the author of the book probably lives that way, and I think that he probably knows that the book is lacking in many ways. Knows that those are not laws. From a scientific perspective, you have a hypothesis, you have a theory, and then a law. Law is something that's proven to bear out each and every time. This is why in psychology, most of what you learn is considered to be a theory, because it can change and often does change when more information is known and through experimentation. And so to call something a law, especially 48 things a law, that means you've done rigorous scientific investigation, and there's no higher knowledge known. And many of these people that are cited, I love the way the book is written. It's beautifully written, I think, in the sense that it has historical examples, and it's a great way of learning about a lot of history. And as a piece of literature, it exposes you to it's a pretty good piece of literature. But these are not truly laws, and the things that it's espousing will not lead to true power. Now, if you want to be the most, the wealthiest person, if that's what you think is power, or the person who will treat people any kind of way to get what you want to get, and if you really want to go in the direction of external power, I don't know of a better book for you. But if you want to live an authentic life from an authentic place and honor the authentic being that you are, it's been said, I believe I first heard it from Deepak Chopra, I believe, that we're spiritual beings having a human experience. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. So the spiritual part of us is the most important, is what's real. And this humanness that we perceive is only a tool for the spirit. The body is only a house for the spirit to do that which it's here to do. So now it's again a paradigm shift. And so in my opinion, though, we need to spend our time honoring the spirit and doing that which is spiritual, and treating others as if they are divine spirits, and in fact as if they are us, as if there is no separation between them and us. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you, as it's been said. I was taught by someone that is very interested in external power that the golden rule is in fact not to do unto others as you would have them to do unto you, but the golden rule, as this person taught me, is that he who has the gold makes the rules. He who has the gold makes the rules. Those are two entirely different perspectives on power. And I'll be honest and say it was my father that actually was a proponent of that second one, the he who has the gold makes the rules. I reject that. I reject that notion. I think that maybe temporarily, or maybe on a superficial level, or it may seem that he who has the gold makes the rules, but in truth, that's not really the case. So I just want to offer my some balance to the book, or to what can be derived from the book, the very popular book that I see many people still talking about and posting as even their favorite book, and thinking that they really have something of value. It can be of value, I believe, in protecting yourself against maniacal, Machiavellian people who would use you in their pursuit of external power. But outside of that, it's pretty worthless in my estimation. All right? And that's my critique on the 48 Laws of Power. Please do like and share this video. It will help me to continue to do this work. Thank you.